Skol Vikings. Are you ready for a massive shakeup in our quarterback room? The buzz around our starter competition is reaching a boiling point, and the latest news suggests our young signal caller might already be on the move. Could we be looking at a blockbuster trade that sends our first-round prospect packing before the season even begins? The situation is developing fast, and you won't believe the logic behind this potential roster move. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that like button, and drop a comment below with your take on this bombshell. Let's dive deep into what this really means. The quarterback landscape in Minnesota has shifted as we head into the 2026 season, centering on the future of J.J. McCarthy. With the team bringing in Kyler Murray to lead the offense, the conversation has moved toward the long-term status of the young signal caller. Many observers, including former NFL offensive lineman Joe Thomas, believe the hierarchy is already set, with Murray established as the starter and McCarthy relegated to the backup role. The arrival of Carson Wentz adds another layer to this dynamic, as the team now possesses a depth chart that emphasizes veteran presence alongside the new arrival. For fans who cheer Skol every Sunday, the central question is whether the team will choose to hold on to JJ McCarthy for insurance or explore potential trade scenarios. The inclusion of an experienced backup like Wentz suggests that the organization is covering its bases, which naturally leads to speculation regarding the path forward for the former first-round pick. Joe Thomas emphasized that when a franchise invests the resources required to acquire a talent like Kyler Murray, the intent is clear, and the depth chart reflects that tactical shift. While McCarthy still has time to develop, the reality on the ground indicates that he is currently positioned behind a veteran who is expected to command the field when the regular season kicks off. This environment creates a waiting game for J.J. McCarthy, who must navigate a crowded room that prioritizes immediate production. As the team evaluates its options, the discourse surrounding J.J. McCarthy highlights the tension between developing young draft capital and fielding a proven, established quarterback. The structure of the roster clearly favors the transition to Kyler Murray, leaving McCarthy as the primary subject of these ongoing roster discussions throughout the summer months. Why does this matter right now for the Vikings? The decision to prioritize Kyler Murray fundamentally changes the daily operation of the quarterback room and the developmental trajectory of JJ McCarthy. In the NFL, the difference between a starter and a backup is stark, and when a team like Minnesota opts to bring in both Kyler Murray and Carson Wentz, it signals a desire for immediate, proven stability. This directly impacts how the coaching staff divides practice repetitions and how much time they can dedicate to refining the mechanics of a younger passer. For J.J. McCarthy, being viewed as the backup is a significant hurdle in his professional journey, as he loses the direct experience of leading the offense in high-stakes situations. The organization's reliance on Murray and the depth provided by Wentz means the threshold for McCarthy to see the field is now significantly higher. For the fans who shout Skol to rally behind the squad, this suggests the front office is focused on maximizing the current championship window with experienced veterans rather than waiting for long-term growth. The concern for the fan base is whether this approach stifles the growth of a high-value asset, or if it provides the necessary time for the rookie to learn from established pros. Regardless of the philosophy, the practical implication is that J.J. McCarthy is currently in a holding pattern. The team's commitment to winning now means that every rep taken by the starter is a rep not taken by the backup, which limits the visibility and tangible progress of the former first-round choice. This balance of experience versus potential is the defining story of the Vikings' 2026 preseason, and it is a situation that will continue to evolve as the team prepares for the upcoming competitive year. The discussion surrounding a potential trade for J.J. McCarthy has gained traction, specifically with Winston Wilcox of Fansided proposing a move to the Arizona Cardinals. This hypothetical scenario suggests that the Vikings could receive a 2027 fifth-round pick and a 2027 seventh-round pick in exchange for the young quarterback. The logic behind this proposal is rooted in the idea that J.J. McCarthy needs a fresh start to realize his potential, especially in a market like Arizona where the quarterback's situation remains fluid. If the Cardinals find themselves unable to resolve contract issues with players like Jacoby Brissett, the arrival of a developing passer could serve as a strategic pivot. While this remains a trade pitch rather than an official move, it highlights the perceived value of J.J. McCarthy across the league and the possibility that Minnesota might look to recoup assets if they feel he no longer fits into their immediate starting plans. The mention of the New York Jets as another team that might gamble on a young talent reinforces the notion that J.J. McCarthy remains an intriguing prospect for franchises looking to build for the future. For the Vikings, the calculation is whether the modest return of late-round picks in 2027 outweighs the security of keeping a high-pedigree backup on the roster. The presence of Kyler Murray and Carson Wentz essentially renders the QB room crowded, making the prospect of trading J.J. McCarthy a logical point of debate for those watching the team closely. Whether or not Minnesota considers this path depends entirely on how they view the reliability of their current starters and their long-term belief in McCarthy's ability to lead the franchise. For now, the suggestion of a trade remains a focal point of the broader conversation regarding his status within the team's organizational hierarchy. The commentary from Joe Thomas on The Rich Eisen Show provides a critical perspective on why the Vikings moved toward Kyler Murray. Thomas noted that the team's decision to commit significant resources to acquire a veteran suggests they prioritize a player that their key receivers and offensive playmakers trust immediately. This move is less about the lack of talent in J.J. McCarthy and more about the specific needs of the roster to perform at a high level right now. By positioning J.J. McCarthy firmly as the backup, the team is attempting to mitigate the risks associated with an unproven rookie while maintaining a backup plan in Carson Wentz, who is familiar with the league's demands. Thomas emphasized that while J.J. McCarthy retains the potential for growth, the current reality of the roster is dictated by the veterans who are expected to produce. This clarity is meant to remove the ambiguity surrounding the QB1 position, ensuring that the team moves forward with a singular focus on Kyler Murray. For J.J. McCarthy, the path forward is reduced to internal development and waiting for an opportunity that may only arrive through injury or a significant change in performance. The Vikings' strategy seems designed to insulate the team from the volatility that often accompanies a rookie-led offense. For supporters, the focus remains on whether Kyler Murray can deliver the expected results with the playmakers around him. The explicit nature of Thomas's analysis helps explain why the organization has pursued this route, as they are banking on the veteran's ability to command the locker room and execute at an elite level. This transition, while difficult for the supporters of J.J. McCarthy, is framed as a pragmatic move aimed at ensuring the offense operates with the stability that the franchise currently demands. As the team prepares for the season, the status of J.J. McCarthy remains the central theme of the Minnesota Vikings offseason narrative. While rumors of a trade to the Arizona Cardinals keep the conversation alive regarding his future elsewhere, the reality for now is that he occupies a reserve role. The front office's decision to bring in veteran leadership indicates a clear preference for experience, which forces J.J. McCarthy to prove his worth in practice rather than through game day action. Whether he remains a Viking for the duration of the 2026 season or becomes the centerpiece of a transaction, his journey is currently defined by the presence of Kyler Murray and Carson Wentz. The fans who shout "Skol" are witnessing a calculated shift in team management, prioritizing the immediate success of a proven starter over the development of a long-term prospect. For J.J. McCarthy, this represents a challenging phase of his career where he must balance patience with the desire to perform. The organization's reliance on Kyler Murray provides a level of certainty that has been absent in recent years, though it comes at the cost of clarity regarding McCarthy's ultimate role. Looking ahead, the evaluation of J.J. McCarthy will likely continue until the depth chart is finalized for the final roster cutdown. Until then, he remains a subject of intense speculation and analysis. The combination of his status as a former first-round pick and the current roster depth creates a complex situation that will dominate the headlines until the first kickoff. Regardless of the final outcome, the 2026 season is set to be defined by how the Vikings manage this quarterback room and how J.J. McCarthy responds to the current competitive environment as he waits for his eventual chance to prove himself in the professional league.